Thus begins session 11. You all find yourselves in the Lord Commander's study. The tone is somber. The Lord Commander looks more than a little bewildered. As you walked back, he even gave Safine the few pieces of these blue gems that he knew he had on him in a circlet and in a necklace, and watched as she used Sacred Flame to dispose of them. And he brought you into his private study with Una and closed the door behind you. And he hasn't said a word. It's been about 10 minutes. And he's just sitting there staring at his desk.
Have you started the recording? Oh, okay.
He's not wearing anything else anymore, right? Any
No,
clothes?
he's taken them all and given them to Safine, and he has a bit of a dazed look on his face.
Does it seem like he's coming to? Like he's clearing out of the fog?
He seems shocked, like he's dealing with a bit of shell shock.
Una, Lord Commander, there is the matter of Porgos and Wilcom. We have confirmed via a true spell with Fiona that they are deeply involved in this plot. They are knowingly involved. I think it would be wise to bring them in with her.
And Una kind of nods and murmurs something to the Lord Commander, and she excuses herself from the room.
Heck, that was my only note from last session.
Remember, takes a water skin and some rations and puts the water skin into the Lord Commander's hand, and then starts breaking off bits of whatever heart attack that she has and putting it in his other hand, and then looks around the room for a loose tapestry or some other shit that's just gonna be a blanket that she can put over his shoulders.
There's definitely a rug on the
I
floor.
thought you said heart attack at first, and I was like, ma'am.
You know.
Yeah, he takes it and he nods, and he seems to realize what you're doing. And, he's not a stranger to war. He's not a stranger to battle. And so he kind of tries to make himself sit up a little bit, and he drinks and eats, and he still hasn't said anything, but he's definitely trying to gather himself back up.
We're in his room, you said?
In the private study, yeah.
I'm gonna start reading that journal.
Okay.
I'm like, Remember's got it, okay. And I'm gonna start reading that journal.
So you start going through the journal, and it's very odd because there will be parts of it where it looks like it's a very elegant handwriting, and then parts of it where it looks like it was smudged and scratched, and the hand that was writing it didn't quite understand what it was doing. And as you read, you realize that it's a conversation between Fiona and this mogul. And it's commands of what to make and what to sell and where to put these gems, and even a command to get Porgos and Wilcom involved. And you can see where she's mentioned Diane's death, and that's when Mogul says, now is the time. And it goes from there, and it just...
Is it implications that she murdered her, or...
You can't quite tell that, but it's definitely she was waiting for something devastating to happen.
Do we remember how long ago Diane died?
We never got a date.
Okay.
Well...
This is Diane, the wife Diane, right?
Yeah. And the journal also lists a similar ledger to what you found in Wilcom's things, of who to give necklaces to and when to sell certain pieces, and even notes of when to expect shipments.
And it doesn't have any names?
No.
Or anything similar to that necromancer that we hypodermically killed previously?
Hypodermically.
You do see the name Fargrim.
Fargrim, okay.
Yeah. You do see the name Fargrim mentioned as a seller of these.
That's the only seller's name, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Recently, as you continue through the journal, within the past 4 or 5 days, you actually see a note in that scratchy handwriting of, they've been taken care of.
Ooh.
Who is they? You said that's at the end?
It's within the past, 4 or 5 days.
And there's no, context clues to that before or after? Well, it's time we go back and visit our good old friend. Oh, wait, am I out of spells? Dang it, I forgot. We need to take a long
We
rest.
probably need to sleep.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
have one level 2 spell slot left that we could use.
Do you
Ooh.
have a spell that would be helpful?
Yeah, Zone of Truth.
Oh,
Who
you
is
can use that
they?
again?
Yeah.
We can't. Who are we gonna ask that question? Oh.
Fiona.
Okay.
We're gonna go
Interrogation.
interrogate Fiona.
I thought you were gonna ask Lord Commander, and I was like, why is he gonna know?
I mean, if he wants to stand in that,
No, the
that
poor dude-
30-foot radius that I got going on, too, he can.
Poor
He's in
dude needs
shock.
to take a nice long
He needs a long
sleep.
rest.
He needs a nap.
Yeah.
I gotta take a nap.
He'll actually be able to sleep
I
tonight
gotta
and
sleep right here.
not have horrible dreams, maybe.
You're right.
Oh, you're right. Aw, he needs a hush hush. I'm not
Just
giving him mine.
Ask Fiona to go in there with him.
Yeah, he's just he's eating and drinking very, very slowly the stuff that Remember has given him.
And his wife is still fine?
You haven't really spoken to her anymore.
To our knowledge.
Where is your wife? And is she evil?
Does Sophia ask him that? I'm not sure, 30% of the time I'm not sure if you're in character or not.
Sorry, I slip back and forth. Honestly, she probably would have said such a thing.
And so he
Good.
gives Sophine this really sharp look.
I'm sorry, back then. Where is your wife?
She's likely with the children.
Oh, that's right, you have kids.
And Archie, apparently.
I've given word to the betrayers that she is to have her jewelry removed from her persons. And to make certain that the children don't have anything.
Here's what we do. We get all of our suspects, we round them up, we stick them in the lead room, and then I cast Zone of Truth on them so that we find out, all the things we have questions
We
about.
do this Agatha Christie style.
I mean, it probably would be the best plan to wait till we have the other 2 jewelers as well.
I also think it is a good idea to keep everyone that we know is involved with this mogul in the lead lounge room. Assuming that the lead would even stop him, I don't know. Because we know that it stops the jewels, but I don't know if it would stop his powers.
Also, can she breathe in there?
Yes, I don't see why she wouldn't be able to.
Just making sure, because last time we checked there was no windows. It's lined in lead, so I would imagine not much is getting in and out of there.
Well,
It might be toxic, but
really couldn't
What
couldn't
sign?
say. I never tried to stay in there.
Well, good luck to her.
We should probably check if she's dead at some point. See if the room actually works.
Well, you can only go 10 minutes without oxygen before you turn into a vegetable, so.
That's
can
cleric
send-
science.
I was gonna say some Tardothian information.
I can send a betrayer to go and check on her.
She's real strong.
Let's keep that one in house.
So we have to go back and forth. I have to
No,
babysit this
I think that if Muggle was going to kill her, he would do it soon. I think we would know.
one. Or if
within
she
a day.
suffocates first.
Oh, so is that?
I don't know if that's such a concern.
I'm not going to run and check on that, to be honest.
I will go check on her.
I'm gonna go cast Zone of Truth while we're there. I have one spell slot left and I'm gonna go to sleep soon, so.
We're just gonna have a sleepover in the study. It's fine.
We love a good
Very,
sleepover.
very well. Please go
Split the party.
and speak with her then.
That works.
And so
Before
you-
we
might
leave
as
the
well, I
study,
guess.
Remember's going to take her bit of antler and just press it into his hand and turn it over so nobody else can see what she's done.
All right. Cool.
We're going to the bad guy.
And so he knows what you've given him the minute that he feels it, and he just nods and tucks his hands up underneath the rug. He's wrapped in. And so Remember and Sophine, you head up back into that little hidden area behind the dining hall, and you approach the door, and it's locked, but there is a key hanging just outside the door.
That feels insecure.
Why?
We should have I just don't trust anyone to guard this, but it's better than having just a key here.
Yeah, this does not seem very secure. For anything, why would you put a lock on a door and then put the key right next to it? It does not make sense.
I agree. Well, are you ready to go in good cop, bad cop style?
Wait, who is going to be?
She's bound, right?
Who's the good cop and who is?
Oh, I wanted to be the good cop, but I guess I have to be the bad one since you're always the good one.
I mean, I can do my best to be the bad cop.
No.
Throw a chair around.
That might be good.
All right,
There
I
are no
will.
chairs in there.
I will do my best.
Can you bring a chair in?
I'll go find a chair. Can I roll to see if I find a chair?
We gotta set the mood.
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead.
What am I gonna roll?
A 20. Look
Roll,
for investigation.
yeah, and roll investigation. You're
Alright.
investigating to find a chair.
Like
I'm
Pink
so glad I
Panther-
don't have any negative modifier.
Like Pink Panther up in this bit.
I actually have a +1 to investigation.
Ooh, that's our admiral. So 1.
That'll be a 6.
Ooh.
Do I find a chair?
You realize real quick that the reason that there's just like a key hanging here is because the hallway probably goes 3 feet that way and then 3 feet that way, and it's just like this hidden room, and then you're back into like the dining hall with the sliding door.
Dang it, what's something obscure that I could take off the wall and throw around if I really wanted to? I'm gonna look for something just like, I'm gonna find like a candelabra somewhere or like something just strange.
You're just looking for a random object.
Yeah, just
Something
something.
to throw.
Something to
Alright,
throw.
please,
You know?
please roll.
It was an investigation, you said?
Mhm.
13.
You go back down into the dining hall and you start just rummaging around and like picking things up and like checking their weight. And you do find a candelabra, and it looks like it's made out of like possibly like it was some kind of weird pottery thing
Okay.
that like maybe one of his kids did.
Yeah.
And you also
Oh.
find
Archie made it.
Perfect.
you also find a really beautiful vase that has some flowers in it.
I'm gonna take the flowers.
Okay, you take just the flowers. All right, cool. So remember, you get to see Safine, like, just be like, okay, just hold on a second, and she like goes back down and she comes up with this beautiful bouquet of daisies and roses, and she's like, yes, I found it.
Weird flex, but okay. I'm going to take the flowers from her and prepare for the door to be opened.
All right, who's
Wait,
unlocking?
are you good cop or are you bad cop?
I will be bad cop. You said you wanted to be good cop.
I do want to be good cop.
Then I want to facilitate this dream. I will be the bad cop. I will do a very good job.
Very good.
I won't
Okay.
disappoint you.
Let's go in.
Okay, and so you unlock the door and you pull it open, and Fiona is sitting, looking straight at the door, with her back up against the wall, and she kind of sighs as you look up. As she looks up, and she's like, "I heard every word that you were saying."
Remember, throws the flowers at the ground and goes, "Give us answers!"
And Fiona just looks up, and she's like, "What sort of answers are you wanting?"
Dang it, Fiona, you couldn't have just played along for like
Yes.
3 minutes?
Yes, I definitely want to make this easy on you.
Okay, but like, hear me out. You've been in here for like 40 minutes and you're bored. You're not going to be doing much else for the next like 3 days. Like, you could have this was your time.
Why don't you leave the room and come in again, and I'll act surprised.
Okay, great. She's going to like shuffle up the flowers.
and she like looks at Remember like, oh my god, she's really doing this.
I told her she could be the good cop. I'm just playing. She needs this. She needs this. She's
And
had
she
really
just kind
hard
of
week.
slumps against the wall, and she's like, just kill me. I know. Can you hear me? Just kill me, please. Just.
Literally, Sophia's gonna like scoop up the flowers. She's not gonna hand them to Remember this time. They're gonna close the door, and then they're gonna open the door, and she's gonna go surprise, and just throw the flowers at her.
I remember she's gonna go.
I want
Listen.
you to roll athletics, because these are flowers that you're just like chucking.
Natural 20.
The flowers go into the room, and as they hit the wall in like right above Fiona's head, the petals burst off, and she's showered in like a rain of petals.
Listen, my partner, she's a little bit of a loose cannon, okay? I don't know what she's going to do. I'll do my best, but like I don't know what she's going to do from here.
I can hear Sam Riegel going, "She's crazy."
And Fiona's just
You know the
just
episode.
sitting there, and she's like, "Oh my god. That was very surprising. I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Are you here to mock me? Is that what this is?
No, one time I was listening to this bard and you really reminded me because he literally, the bit was like, oh, I can't believe you've done this, and his friend slapped him in the face. It was really good.
If
And-
you'd like to reenact that, I will happily slap you.
No, it would have had to be me to you because you're the one who has the accent and I don't. So anyways, this is not, we've gotten off course. Fiona, I just have some questions for you.
What?
I know, you're shocked. I'm gonna flip to the last page that there's an entry and I'm turning it around. I'm like, who are the people in question? I'm a very good reader, but there's no no contextual clues, so I'm trying to figure out who's the them that's been taken care of.
Two of Mogul's worshippers, employees, whatever the hell you'd like to call them. They turned tail and ran.
I mean, killed him.
No!
Was one of them a necromancer?
Let them live!
No.
Oh my god.
What was the guy's name? What was
Jim
his
and Callum.
Jim and Callum, do those names ring a bell?
It does sound familiar.
Oh no. Were those
Oh
the guys?
my
So
God.
listen,
You're the
hypodermically
ones in the
speaking.
Tamsin was the only one who didn't want to let them walk away free.
Yeah, no, they were running away, and they got murdered because
No,
they
no.
were running away.
They had all the jewels though. Wait,
No.
we're not talking.
No, they didn't. We wiped them. We made sure they didn't have anything.
Yeah,
the
we
wolves-
let them go free, so
the
they
wolves
ran
had
away
jewels.
from the thing. Yeah, they were the only two that we had left alive, and remember set them free. And they ran away.
But
and then
she
they got
said one of
murdered
them
for
wasn't
it.
a necromancer.
No, we
killed the necromancer.
I know, but
The
they were
necromancer
all-
murked me.
But they were all running together though.
No, we
There's only
killed the
two.
necromancer, and then the other two minions we let go.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're telling me that they all ran at the same time, then the necromancer would have been part of that group. She would have said the necromancer was part of the group.
No,
necessarily.
they ran after we ran into them.
Right, so because we told them, like, go on the straight and narrow or we'll kill you.
Yeah.
Right, oh,
And
it
then
looks
he
like we didn't
murked
have to
them.
keep that promise, so. They
Remember,
were honorable.
fucking devastating.
They're honorable men. They were honorable. They died fighting well. Isn't that what you care about in your land or whatever?
I simply know that they were taken care of.
Are you from Atesa? Initially? What are you exactly? Sorry. The people, if anyone ever hears this podcast, they're like, this racist ass on me. Like, I'm waiting for you to do this. But, like, I mean, like, what, your parents, like, where are they from?
What's your ethnicity?
What's, like, your ethnic background? Sorry.
It doesn't matter. I'm a Tasith now. This is where I am, and this is where I'm from.
But, like, let's say it did matter.
It doesn't.
Do I have to cast Zone of Truth on you again?
This is our first interrogation, and it is
It's
out of
going
the
really
gate
well.
such a shit show.
It's going really well.
She hasn't told us anything. She's been incredibly sarcastic, and she just told us that she murdered the people that we spared.
Oh,
We've
you
gotten
killed
nothing.
them. You
Yeah.
I didn't kill them. I simply informed Mogul that
God.
they were an issue.
Okay, but
Well,
you didn't.
So then
please.
he gave her.
How many people have you killed?
I don't know.
Ooh.
You should keep track of that sort of thing.
You know, like tally marks or something.
I'm not usually in my own head if
Oh.
it gets to that point.
That's rough.
Still something you should keep track of. It's important to know how many times you've been possessed.
That can't be good for your skin.
Is this all you wanted? To come in here and ask me where I'm from and what I've done?
Sure as hell beats doing anything else right now.
Well, to be very honest, I thought I was going to have to cast Zone of Truth on you again, but you've been so upfront. So,
I'm going to be dead soon. If not by the Lord Commander's hands, then by Mogul's.
like, how soon would you say that would be?
How am I supposed to know?
Oh, well, you just
You
seem so
threw me
confident.
in a
Oh, so you can't contact the man upstairs right now?
Or he doesn't care to speak with me because I've failed. You know what? I'll just wait for the Lord Commander. And then she, like, kind of shuffles towards a corner and then just closes her eyes.
But I have more questions.
And then she just...
A bird was shot for those listening.
Didn't recognize game.
I do have just if you'll humor me. When did Diane pass away? Diana?
Within the last year.
Oh. And did you murder her?
And she says nothing.
So
she
you
just
did
keeps,
murder.
and she just keeps quiet.
You did a murder.
I cast Zone of Truth.
Alright, what do I have to roll to beat that
It's a
again?
wisdom. Oh wait, lies. Hang on.
Not lies, that's the point.
Charisma saving throw.
A charisma saving throw.
Yes.
Well,
14.
it was your modifier. I have to roll 2, right? Because we're in the same.
Oh yeah, you do too.
I got 15.
You beat it.
Haha.
Nat 1.
Yeah, tell me your secrets. Okay, so you did murder her, or like mogul, but in your body. So like you were the vehicle for murder.
And Sonic. First degree.
I made her ill.
You cancered her.
I did what?
It's like canceling somebody, but with sickness.
No, that's really bad.
Oh no.
I made her ill.
With. Are you down with the sickness?
I made her ill with something created and purchased.
By. Oh shit.
Lebend.
The swamp.
By a person.
Could you be more vague, please? I need less
Yes, I
answers.
can.
Labenda? Swamp? No, Labend. What's her name? Something. She reminds me of a swamp in another country. Continue.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Who gave you the poison? I'm trying to get there, but you're
The
not
poison.
giving
The
much.
poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison.
That poison?
I think it does not matter where the poison came from. I think that if I keep talking long enough that your spell will wear out, and then I don't have to tell you anything.
Fiona, we think it matters.
Not for 10 minutes
I'd like
it
to
won't.
roll an intimidation check now, thank you.
Go for it.
Please fight her.
Well, that's gonna be a 14.
She's definitely, like, she shrinks back against the wall a little bit.
I could always stab her.
Where did you come from?
I feel this is plainly obvious.
It really isn't. Where did you come from?
I just like point to the lips.
That tells me nothing. Who sent the two of you?
Well,
Why is this interrogation coming back on us? I asked you one question. I said, who made this poison? And now you're asking me questions. That's not how it works in polite society. You know what I'm
why
saying?
you motherfuckers let us go
bound.
through this. I don't know
I'm bound
why.
in a room. I hardly think that polite society works here. And she's like, she seems like she's catching like a wind of. Oh wait, I got this. And she's just. I hardly think it matters. You're terrifying and very large. And you know what? I'll just give you anything in my shop. You can just let me go and you can take whatever you like. And then I'll just leave and no one will ever hear of me again. And Mogul will have me horribly killed. Just like he killed those two people.
Well, if there's one thing I know, I don't need any fucking jewelry, so pass.
LOL.
Everyone needs jewelry. It makes them feel luxurious.
Listen, in
Is
my
that how you
experience,
feel
jewelry
right now?
does not make you feel luxurious.
No, I do not feel luxurious. I feel like a rat in a cage.
I have a small knife. I'm not gonna do anything.
Was this a statement? Or you're telling the DM?
I'm telling
Or you're
the
telling
DM.
the NPC?
I have.
I have a small knife.
I'm gonna
It's called a dagger. No.
I'm just gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna hold the blade.
Hold it by the blade.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it by the blade.
Hardcore.
I'm gonna like have it forward towards her with the hilt. I'll give you this option. You can answer my questions, and I'll give you this knife. Whatever you do with it is on you once we leave.
Alright, well, that's
Give me the
not...
knife and then I'll answer the questions.
That's not how this works.
No, alright, listen, Ed. I just want to, like,
No,
take
I'm
the
not gonna
knife.
let that happen.
We're gonna do a dexterity contest.
You
because...
be that cop. Be cool.
I'm not gonna let you hand somebody a vehicle for
Meanwhile-
suicide while I'm standing in the fucking room, dog. We're gonna do a dexterity
Meanwhile, he
contest.
snaps at Angarad and Temzin just sitting in a room. Temzin's just like
Oh my
meditating, just
God.
opens his eyes and looks up. It's like, I wonder what's taking so long.
Why did you let us do this? We're the
And Grad's
least
like playing
qualified.
chess with herself or something like that.
We're just kind
Wait,
of
what
like,
is
what?
this dexterity? Do I have
Yeah.
to make it 16?
It's a saving throw, right? Yeah.
Oh wait, saving throw?
No.
No, it's just Dex versus Dex.
Oh, 16.
That's a 13. Damn it.
So,
So Safina's managing to keep this out of Remember's reach.
so but you wanted to know where I am, where I'm from.
Yes.
Have any ideas yet?
Yes, a few.
Great.
Ritual suicide? Give me any hints?
So, you could answer your questions and be the creator of your own fate at the end of this night, or you
Alright.
could hold on to this, and we could work something out at the end. I'm pretty sure there's something left inside of you that wants to live.
Yes. Just give me what questions?
Great. Where'd the poison come from?
It came from a merchant traveling down from Tardodith.
Shocker.
Not our sweet Lebed. Lavenda?
Levend.
Levend.
Levent, the alchemist, and no. Why would I use something local? That would be stupid.
Well, you haven't made great decisions so far.
I was until you came along. Now, the knife, please.
Do you have any other questions?
I literally just came here so you wouldn't be here by yourself and to make sure she didn't fucking die. So, like, I have one job.
Doing a great job of it.
I
I
appreciate.
could let you die. Like, I've been called not to, but, like, it's still in my hands whether or not you die. I'm the only thing standing in between you and death right now.
Yes, I am very aware.
I appreciate your honesty. And then I hold my hand open to remember.
I take the knife.
But it's out of my hands now. Gotta go. She just like shoves her hands in her pockets and then walks out.
You bitch, get back here!
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the freedom that I'm receiving from this door.
Wow.
And then I shut the door and lock it. And I swing the
You
key
didn't
as I
get
walk
like
away.
any information.
We did not do a single thing other than
I
make her
learned
more
a lot.
angry.
What did you learn?
I learned where the poison came from. I
From a
learned,
merchant?
Yeah,
What merchant?
from Tartarus. It'll be fine. I'll find someone some way.
And she just looks up at Remember, and she's like, "You're not going to give that to me, are you?"
Absolutely fucking not. You think you get to take your own life at this point?
I sure was hoping so. And then she just like scooches back in the corner and she's like, "Great, this is the worst day I've ever had. This is one of the worst days I've ever had. Definitely up there. Definitely up there. Top 5 worst days."
Fiona, we saved you from possession by a god that doesn't care if you live or die. You still breathe, and for right now you are secure. If this is the worst day you've ever had, you're doing pretty fucking good. Listen to me. Actually hear me this time. I serve a god that wants me to see the best. There is something in you that can be saved. I will not do any more work for it. At this point, it would make me upset to see you die, but I will not stand in the way. You have to choose to live.
Understood.
You have to choose to live well.
Thank you for that rousing speech. I still think that you would look lovely in a pair of earrings.
Oh, that's nice.
And she, like, scooches back against the wall, and you can feel the spell just kind of shudder and fade.
Oh God, what's happening?
Jewelry is not luxurious. It always holds meaning, and it is always a chain. And then she leaves.
Cries.
We didn't get anything done. We
I
didn't
learned
do
a lot.
anything.
They killed those 2 guys. And she killed Diane.
That's not information I wanted to have.
Yeah, but then we can tell Wilcom and Porky
Porky Pig.
that she murdered his
That's
wife.
true. We do have that now, so we
Yeah.
can be like, hey, nerds.
See? And then we
Join
can
the light
show
side.
them the journal and be like, bro, she poisoned your girl. Rose?
Yoga.
Rose.
Rose.
Plural.
Right.
Rose is Rose.
Come on.
It's
Rose.
never who you want to be, Polly versus Polly.
Alright, so you guys head back to the study then?
We need to sleep.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys head back to the study, and you just see Tamsin meditating. You see Angrod just kind of like lounging exhaustedly, probably. And the Lord Commander looks up, a little bit more color in his face when you come back in. And what did you find out?
Not much.
Actually, so much. She'll probably try to kill herself, but I thwarted that plan. You're welcome.
She what?
You know, she's in a really dark time right now. I think, you know, she just needs to go to therapy.
Remember, very, very conspicuously hands Sophine her knife back.
So anyways, what we found out was that she poisoned Wilcom and Porthos.
It's like the guy in the Three Musketeers. How are
Porthos.
Kind of.
Porthos.
Porgos.
Oh, that's
But it's
very
like the guy
different.
in the Three Musketeers.
She poisoned Wilcom and Porgos.
No, their wife, Diana. Diane.
Wait, they were both married to Diane?
You know, I
Details.
don't like to gossip, but in one way or another, they were all living in the same house, in a fashion of words. Regardless, they were all in love, and she murdered she murdered her. So, I think that's a great place to start. I think we should talk to Wilcom and Porgos and see how they feel about this woman who allegedly pulled them onto her team since she murdered her. You know, I think that's important. Also, we have to look out with any mercenary that was from Tardonis in the past, like, year, which is probably going to be a lot. But you know what? Elazar is a good old chap, and he'll help me look through that stuff.
The archivist? I'm sorry, I think I'm
yeah.
confused.
No, the archivist. He's real sweet. You should talk to him more. He seems like he needs a good family. Oh no, the mercenaries.
Sophine's had a damn day.
We should talk to the mercenaries. I'm sorry, Elazar won't know that. We do need to go back for... I need to go back for my list.
I'm sorry. You're getting books from the archivist?
No, long story short, the only important information is that we should probably follow up with Wilcom and...
Perhaps I will have Fiona moved to the dungeon for her own safety.
I think the lead is actually quite good for her safety. Otherwise,
Then I'll have a betrayer stationed in the dining hall.
it's a great idea.
Weren't we gonna have the 2 other jewelers picked up
We should.
tonight?
We need to pick them up tonight or they'll skip town.
Yeah, I was gonna say we shouldn't wait till tomorrow. We should have people
Please
sent
have
after them.
betrayers.
We already
scoop
did.
up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty
Luna
sure.
is already taking care
Yeah, I was
of
gonna
that.
say.
okay,
I'm pretty
cool.
sure we already took care of that.
Why don't you all
Take a nap.
take the night? Did you want to return to the farm, or if you'd like, I can have a room prepared here.
I would feel better staying here.
Very well.
Like already lounging on the couch, half asleep.
She's pulled a different rug up.
I'll get a room made up for you.
A room.
I'll
This is a palace.
Sleepover.
I'll have Right, and he just kind of like pushes back from the desk and he's... I'll send someone to get to you. I need to go check on my wife, I think. I'll let Una know where you're staying. And he bows and he like very quickly hurries out. And it doesn't take long, maybe like 10 minutes before this black-haired half-elf woman comes in, and her hair's in a very long plait down her back, and she kind of gives you a curtsy. And if you'll just follow me, the Lord Commander has had quarters prepared for you all.
Insight check.
Arwen.
Go ahead.
Arwen.
Even Star. Liv Tyler.
Yeah, she seems legit. She's got the betrayer, the symbol of Ataseth on her like linen dress, and
Okay, tight.
okay. So she goes ahead and leads you all up these stairs, and you head off into an area of the Great Hall that you've never seen before. It's very where the front of the building was very like extravagant and showy. This is definitely a lived-in space. You know, there's old wood furniture here, there's the marble floors, and there's the stainless smoke on the walls behind the torches, and she leads you towards 2 rooms with the big double doors like wide open, and you can see that there are these 2 huge rooms with 2 very large beds, and I'm very sorry that we don't have anything else available for you at the moment, but most of the other rooms are being used that are actually sleeping quarters. Most of the others that we've had in the past have been changed into storage of a sort. I hope this will be satisfactory. And you can see that, like, these rooms are more glamorous than anything you've ever seen in your life, except probably in Ancourt. There's these beautiful gauzy curtains over the bed, and at these walls that go out onto a balcony, you have white armoires that have these beautiful engraved flowers all over them. You have like bowls of fruit and little candies and stuff out on the tables, and she just kind of like dips a curtsy between the rooms. And will this be enough for you?
Is the bed big enough to fit Remember?
Yeah, this bed is
Holy
big enough to fit like 2 of Remember.
She doesn't say anything, just silently walks over and flops down on the bed and is like, alright.
Yes, I believe this will be very satisfactory. Thank you for bringing it to us.
Of course. My name is Adela, if you need anything.
Okay.
And then she just kind of like sweeps off and goes down the hall.
What's your damage? No, we've already met her final family. That's the end.
Okay, so you guys are just... Do you guys just, like, head to bed immediately?
Well, I'm imagining that these beds are so big that, like, me, Ingrid, and Tenzin can all fit in the same bed and not touch each other because they're so large.
No, they're huge. Like, they could fit 2 of Remember.
Nice.
No. Before Remember actually goes to sleep, she's gonna double check the entrances. Move armoires in front of doors. And then there's like a patio. Are there doors to the patio or no?
It's like a balcony.
She's gonna like prop or secure or tie every entrance before she goes to bed.
Okay, roll an investigation.
For what?
You're checking behind stuff.
I'm securing the doors so nobody can get through.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You do manage to secure the doors.
I know we're in the palace, but I think we should still take shifts just in case.
I agree with that, especially if something happens during the night.
Exactly.
So you guys went ahead and just all hunkered down in the same room?
That's fine.
I can take the first watch.
I'll watch the second one.
You can
I
take
still
that.
got all my spell slots back though, right?
Yeah, as long as you take a long rest.
Yeah. I'll take the rest.
So Tenzin will stay up for the first watch, and he'll kind of meditate while just keeping an ear and eye out for stuff.
All right. And then you guys went ahead and you got yourself the what's it called?
Oh wait, my hit points go back. Yay!
Yeah, your hit points go back. You get your spells back. And you went ahead and gave yourselves the 450 experience points, right?
Yes.
All right. Perfect.
Do you guys know where the rest actions are in D&D Beyond?
Not necessarily on mobile.
Okay, I'll
I'm
find
used to
it.
it on my phone.
Oh, there we go. If you just tap on your name, it'll give you the drop down, and it'll have short rest, long rest.
Tight.
Ooh, wow.
Alright, I have so many things that I want to follow up with now.
I'm kind of lost. I don't know what
All right.
thing was.
So you guys go ahead and you, you have your watch shifts. One of you actually, it would probably be first watch. Who would be on first watch? Okay. First watch would hear like a bit of emotion in the halls, and if you were to peek out, you would see that betrayers have been stationed at the entry of the hallway and down also near where the hallway turns and goes off further into the building. And when they see you like open the door and peek out, they kind of like give you a nod of acknowledgement. But nothing happens.
Okay.
So you go ahead and you awaken on this 4th day of Zapur. Well after,
I love that water.
you have well after you have initially met one another and been called to this. And you hear a knock at the door.
At our door.
I take a hilariously long amount of time to undo my Home Alone trap and open the door.
Okay. And Una is standing there.
It's Una!
And on the places of her antlers that she had broken off for you, she has much larger flowers blossomed. And she dips you a nod, and I did go ahead and bring in Wilcom and Porgos. They seemed unaware that anything had happened with Miss Fiona, and were more than willing to come with me.
Ooh,
Nice.
good.
Would you care for breakfast before the day's proceedings, or did you just want to get into it?
Breakfast.
Yeah, we should probably super eat 'cause something tells me we're gonna have to skip town tonight.
LOL.
And she just, follow me then, and she takes you back down to the dining hall where a very quick breakfast has been laid out. It's definitely not something meant to impress. It's probably what they eat every day.
There's
And-
only oranges instead of grapefruit.
And you look up and you see the Lord and Lady Commander. And they are actually surrounded by their children. And you see Ernest, who you saw briefly before. You see Archie is there, and he kind of gives you a little wave as he like goes back to talking.
Sweet boy.
And you also see 2 little girls who you haven't met before, and they have these full blonde curls, and one of them has like a little doll that looks like Una on the table next to her, and she's kind of like talking to it and trying to feed it bits of toast, and Tiela's like, no, sweetheart, please don't. Oh, good morning, Una, and she dips a nod. They wish to eat, and then we can begin. However it is that you wish to proceed with the day, I'll be outside. And she heads out, and the little girl looks up, and she like sees you all, and she sits up a little bit straighter, and she like straightens up her doll, and she goes, hello, it's very nice to meet you. And then her sister like straightens her bow for her. Hello, good morning.
Oh my god.
Good morning.
Play with us, Danny.
It's nice to meet you as well. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Lady Patience, and this is my sister, Lady Eventrude. Eventrude, you're supposed to say good morning. Good morning, I'm Lady Eventrude. And this is Una. She's cross.
I just look at Una.
And Una just like shuts the door of the dining hall as she slips out.
Oh my god.
I like you very much.
You do? Oh, I like you. Why are your lips blue?
I had the best blueberry pie yesterday. I ate too much of it.
And they're still blue?
That's why you should listen to your mother when she says stop eating pie. You stop eating pie.
but I do like it.
I know, but do you really want your lips to look like this?
Well, it's very pretty. I do like blue.
Huge shock. Safina's good with kids. Who would have called this?
Well, that is true. But then sometimes when you wear red lipstick, it just turns it purple.
That's my sister's favorite color. She would like that, I think. See, we should eat lots of pie, then I'll have the blue lips, and then I'll put on Mummy's lipstick. And Tiala is like, girls. And they both like snap back and then like go back to eating their breakfast.
Brilliant.
They just tiptoe off to go get food.
And your places have all been set for you. Each one has like, they seem to have a more equal like portion, except you can clearly see Remember's is like
Giant.
a platter. But
Good.
it's all the same eggs and toast and porridge and like these like there's a bowl of apples and stuff.
Good.
Just for remember.
Did you all sleep very well? Commander Valen just kind of is like busying himself with trying to eat this and that, and he definitely looks like he's actually gotten some sleep in.
We did, thank you very much. The quarters that were provided were more than satisfactory.
I'm very glad to hear that. I'm very sorry that I didn't have rooms for each of you. We usually clear things out when we have parties and the like, but we haven't had anything lately that would require it.
It is no worries. After the events, I think we were more than happy to stay together for a little while. We
Then-
felt safer.
It's been a long time since I slept in a bed like that.
I hope that it was large enough.
Quite.
Good. We have people of all sorts coming through here. Girls, why don't you go and eat with Una in her office? And Aventrude's like, yes, I like to eat in there. There's dirt on the floor and I get to take off my shoes. And she's like getting her plate and like marching off with her little doll.
Good.
And her sister very quickly like bobs this really deep curtsy to you all that she's clearly practiced very hard, and then follows after her sister.
Good. Very good. Very good. Very good.
You have raised charming young ladies.
Well, I do my best. The seat of command may not go to either of them, or even to my sons. I certainly hope it will, but might not be the case. Now, we have Porgos and Wilcom in custody. We also have Fiona. All have been checked on this morning, and all are in satisfying conditions. I believe that Porgos and Wilcom understand that something is amiss. They were not told much last night, but they were not allowed to leave on their own this morning.
Where do you have them kept at the moment?
We have a servant's quarters with no windows that we thought would be best. The issue that I am facing is that we have no precedents for this.
Sure we do. We got a whole journal right here that has all kinds of things we need to talk to them about.
Yes, but what I mean is we've never had anything on this scale before.
If it makes you feel more comfortable, you could let them loose. We'll let them go for about a yard or two, and then we'll just, take care of them. Not murder them. I mean, we'll hold our own investigation.
I'm sorry, but I can't abide that here.
No, then that's fine. We'll go into the servants' quarters.
People
Y'all are
in
the ones who've been
Atesa,
driving the plot. You better do something, or we're gonna continue to fuck it up.
people in Atesa who are not of Atesa are not permitted to draw weapons. I have turned a blind eye to your actions so far.
We don't have weapons. We've not drawn a single damn weapon. That's not in character, sorry. We have not drawn a single damn weapon.
I have turned a blind eye to your actions so far, but once this comes to light, I will not be able to. I cannot show favoritism.
We're gonna have to skip down, y'all.
Yeah, we're.
Now, in Ateseth, we do not take slaves. And I know that in Giran and I believe it was Tardodith, they do. Adgord purchases them, and for lead, my apologies, misremember, but don't you just exile them to the desert and then hunt them down?
They're not slaves. They're rapists and murderers, betrayers. Not your kinds, our kinds,
And is that what you'd offer for Fiona and Porgos and Wilcom? If the lives of anyone are on their heads, you exiled them and then, as Miss Safine suggested, let them go and then hunt them down.
If they can escape, then it is their destiny to go on and continue living.
I just meant to question them, not to kill them. That way you're not necessarily the person holding the investigation. I'm not going to kill somebody here.
If I may, Lord Commander, I think there's been a bit of a miscommunication.
Lady. She's a lady.
No, it's Lord.
It's Lord Commander.
Oh, why did I think it was her?
Well, because she's sitting
I was
there
like, wait
too.
a second.
Never mind. I'm
This is a whole
confusion.
family affair.
Wait, and Ernest and Archie are just sitting here listening to all this?
Yeah.
Good. Learn young, kids. We're in the murder
We
business.
had you apprehend the jewelers because they are involved in whatever is going on. Can't get into my accent.
It's okay.
Actually, you're almost there.
And that is the reason we must interrogate them. Because whatever is going on, they have information and we need it. After all this is done with, once we've completed the job that you've hired us for, you can do with them as you wish.
It's also possible that they will be shocked and dismayed to hear that Fiona was involved in the death of their beloved. It is possible they would be more than happy to work with us without any force needed.
That is very possible also. We won't know anything until we speak with them.
But after. That is what concerns me now.
I have no concern for after.
This is...
This is much... Yes. This is much bigger than them. This is much bigger than your city or your country. I am worried about the big picture, and to be completely honest, they do not feature in the big picture very much. They are a means to information for us, and afterwards, I am more than comfortable to release them into your judicial system.
I see.
You can put them on trial or do whatever it is that you think necessary. If they are responsible for the the murder of your citizens, then...
Do not misunderstand me, Lord Commander. All three of these people are traitors to the crown. They have all conspired against you. They have all conspired to kill you and to kill your subjects. There is no reality, there is no failure in our evidence or investigation for them to be innocent. Porgos and Wilcom could possibly be less malevolent in their intentions. However, all three of them are traitors, and I am more than happy for you to persecute them as such.
What do you do with traitors, Lord Commander?
When someone is not happy in a Tayseth, they leave and go elsewhere. In the 100 years that we have been established, nothing like this has ever happened.
You have never had anyone murdered?
We have, and then they are murdered.
And yet you
So
tell
wait.
us that their systems are barbaric. I do not understand.
When someone has outrightly killed in broad daylight or made an attempt on someone's life, that is returned. I am not sure how to go about handling someone who was acting on such a grand scale. Una has filled me in, I'd like to think, on everything. But I can't be sure. But I trust her word. I don't know what to do about someone listening to a god when that was how a Tayseth was founded. They listened to their gods and they fled. Would you like to sit in on my questioning of Porgos and Wilcom? I think we will start there.
I was not aware that we would not be questioning Porgos and Wilcom.
You're not in control of a Tayseth.
We are in control of this investigation. That is what you brought us here for, no? Have we not done well so far?
You have done very well.
You do not have all the information, Lord Commander. in that you do not have the context. We have followed this from beginning to now, and hopefully we will follow it to the end. Do you wish us to be silent?
And he like reaches out and Tiela grabs his hand and gives his hand a squeeze and he's right. I will leave this to you and I will be present for this questioning.
I am not suggesting that you have to be a bystander, however.
You have been in control of this investigation. I was simply the middleman who listened when I needed to call you. Were that not so, we would not have even found out about any of this, and perhaps it would have gotten much, much worse. Miss Safine, you're able to dispose of those gems immediately.
Yes, I can. I will.
I have had betrayers go to Porgos and Wilcom's home, as well as other merchants in the area, and craftspeople. If they found the stones, they were to bring them here without touching them. I can only hope that they've listened. I will have you dispose of any and all that are brought to you.
My pleasure.
And we will begin the questioning immediately, if that is all right with you.
It is.
Very well. Archie, Ernest, if you would, go ahead and train in the yard today.
Yeah, as if they're not gonna be right there at the door, like looking through the keyhole. Okay.
And
Sure.
so he rises and Tiela follows after him and they go to the door and Una's standing out there and he kind of fills her in on exactly what's being done and he and Tiela go off to head off towards some area of the hall and then a betrayer comes up to you, one that you actually recognize from before, Catherine, this human woman, and she comes up to you and she offers you a little bow and, all right, I've gotten Porgos and Wilcom together and they are waiting in the hall for apparently your judgment.
I think this is a really good opportunity for us to branch off and make our own organization that goes around punishing fools in the name of God. I don't know about y'all, Blues Brothers sounds really good to me right about
Oh
now.
my
We should
gosh.
get our own banner. Inquisition this shit.
Blues Brothers, good lord.
Oh man.
I don't know as much of our judgment as much of us questioning them.
Yes, we are simply here to get information.
All right, I'm just doing what I'm told, and you're just doing what you're told. I'm guessing. I don't
Exactly.
know. You're not even from here. I don't understand
She
anything.
doesn't even go here.
And so she goes ahead and leads you to another set of doors, and as you go on, a betrayer comes up to you with a very large lead-lined box with these handles, and he's like, well, I didn't touch any of them.
Good.
I found about 15 throughout the city.
That's it?
Yes?
You did well, thank you.
Ah, yes, you did well.
I was told to give them to you, and he holds out this box.
You know, you do one. I like just looking at him. You do one good thing, and this is what happened.
And it's a heavy, like, the box is, it's a lead box. It's pretty heavy.
It's important that we tell them how you destroy these.
It's literally, I'm going to take it from him, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't fall on his toes, and I'm just going to be gunk gunk and let it fall down. I'm like, yes, I won't be carrying this with me. Let's just do this now, shall we? Back up, everyone.
And then he and Catherine, like, exchange glances and take a step back.
I'm just going to cast Sacred Flame.
Okay, yeah. It's a black fire that comes up and just,
Don't breathe.
like, consumes the stones that are inside it.
Perfect. Now you can take this box away and do whatever you want with it.
And he just stares at you and slowly reaches down to pick up the
It
box.
might be hot.
And he, like, immediately does that kind of thing.
Lets it go slightly.
And then he just, like, looks at it and he just, like, pushes at it with his foot and just starts to push it across the floor.
A whole new kid.
I don't know what that was, but right. Let's go. And then she brings you into what is very clearly a hall where they probably do things of this nature. People bringing grievances, maybe huge meetings, but there is a table in a half-circle shape, and Tiela and Valen are sitting at the head of the table, and there are 2 seats on either side of them. So there's 2 on Valen's side and 2 on Tiela's side. And then in the center of the room is Porgos and Wilcom. And Wilcom kind of looks up, and he recognizes a couple of you. And he like whispers something to Porgos, and Porgos just shakes his head. And so
We never even talked to Porgos, I don't think.
We've never talked to Porgos.
No.
We've just gotten very acquainted with him. Like literally, I'm just trying to hold it back. Like, so it's true. You are lovers in the nighttime.
and Wilcom and Porgos
No,
like,
I said I was holding that
Oh,
back.
yeah.
That's what I wanted. Though.
That would be, hey, the worst thing that you could say.
No, she has more tact than that.
Okay.
She just really wants to.
and Tiela stands and if you would, please take your seats.
How did they get here faster than us?
Because they left
stopped
the
You
room
got me
before
by
you.
all accounts. They should have
They left the room before you did, so
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
By all accounts.
I'm gonna go take the seat next to Tiela.
yeah.
If it pleases your ladyship, I would prefer to stand.
Very well.
Wait, who's questioning? I don't want the people who aren't questioning have to stand. This is a genuine question for the DM, not Sophia.
No, you can sit.
It's like a table of us sitting and then them having to stand in front of us while we question them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time visualizing where we are.
it's-
Like,
Let me. I'll draw you a map.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
On the map!
Why am I so cold? Oh my god. My hands are freezing.
it sounds like sim music.
I know, I'm changing.
That
it.
soft piano, though. This is gonna go on great with the horrible things we're about to ask them.
Here you go.
No.
So it looks like this. It's a very large room.
Oh, and they're just standing?
Yeah, they're standing before Tiela and Valen.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll sit down.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand, like, off to the side.
Okay. And after you guys have come into the room, Catherine and that same betrayer who had the box come in after you.
Oh, was I supposed to destroy those now? Oh man, I maybe
Jumped
should
the
have
gun a little.
waited. Whoops.
And so they just take up positions at the door. And once you guys have all sat down, Valen stands and he, Porgos and Wilcom, you have not been charged formally yet, but we have come to some information that you were planning to move against the city, apparently. And he like glances at the 4 of you.
How much contact have you had with an entity called Mogul?
And they both kind of tense.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm speaking of. You know how harmful all of this is. And if you do not tell us the truth, we will make you tell the truth.
And they just kind of like glance at each other. And Wilcom steps forward and, my dears, why is it that you're trying to find out about Mogul?
What's with all the all the bad guys asking us questions back? All we want is answers. Don't keep asking us questions. Just answer the questions.
Would you mind repeating your question?
How much contact have you had with the entity called Mogul?
Minimal. And from what I understand, he is less an entity and more of a deity? And he kind of like glances back at Porgos, who just nods very quickly.
You're doing great, sweetie.
What has Fiona recruited you for?
Fiona was the one who taught us about Mogul and brought us his name and his purpose.
What did she tell you his purpose was?
To join the Pantheon and be recognized as a god.
And how exactly did she want you to help make that happen?
By spreading a way of communicating with him that is unknown to even the other gods. I'm sorry, are we being charged with something?
You are being questioned.
Yes, but my lord and lady commander, and he like turns his attention back to them, and my lord and lady commander, I'm sure that there's been some mistake. We're not really being questioned about our beliefs, are we?
You have actively spread gemstones that are directly harmful to everyone that they come into contact with. You have spread a belief system of a deity that is trying to take over and harm everyone that he comes into contact with. We are questioning you because in your actions you have harmed a decent amount of the population of White Staff.
Where are we?
And at this, Porgos kind of steps forward and he... Look, I really don't think that there's anything amiss here. We have been doing our Lord's work. Is that not what anyone wants to do?
And what is that specifically?
Spreading his message and spreading a way of getting in contact with him.
Has he been malicious to you ever?
No, of course not. I'm sorry.
How
Who
long
are-
ago did you begin to follow Mogul?
Within the past year.
Any significant events that happened right before that, perhaps?
Any
No,
births
nothing.
or perhaps?
Oh
nothing,
my God.
nothing at all.
Y'all suck.
I am rolling. Listen, I'm gonna throw Remember into a bunch of fights so I accidentally kill her, and then I'm re-rolling as a rogue whose charisma is like a 24. Oh my god.
And when your wife passed away, would you mind telling us what she passed away from?
And Porgos has like reached out and kind of like grabbed Wilcom's hand. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know that death can be a traumatic thing, but if you don't mind searching your memories, how much time passed before Fiona stepped into your acquaintances after your wife passed?
And they both kind of like lose a bit of color. And then Wilcom, was Fiona involved?
We have reason to believe
We have evidence and testimony.
that perhaps your wife may have been murdered
Murdered how?
by a substance under the guise of patronage to Mogul, so that you would be more likely to join his ranks. That is why we are questioning you today.
And Porgos just bursts into tears. And Wilcom like murmurs to him for a minute, just a minute, and Diane fell ill. And within a month of her passing, Fiona came to speak with us about Mogul. And she offered us a gem that allowed us to hear her.
Oof.
And it was all we'd ever wanted. Just another word, just another time to speak with her. She passed so suddenly and so unexpectedly. We didn't mind the things that she was saying. Not at first. But, we locked the gem away. And when we did, Fiona came to us and said that Mogul would take it. And would take Diane's voice with it. If we didn't spread the word. And we were given the gemstones. And we were told to sell them. And the more that spread, and the more money that changed hands over them, the more pleased he was. And the things that she was saying grew a little less malicious. Perhaps it was a way of easing her soul. That's all we wanted.
Woo, doggy.
Yeah.
All right.
Woo.
Sad boy hours.
Death can be a painful thing. And I'm very grateful that you would share such a thing with me.
Did Fiona cause our wife's death?
I'm afraid that
Did she cause our wife's death? It is a yes or no question.
the
Yes.
deity.
Lord Commander, and he immediately steps forward and drops Porgos' hand. And he's, I petition for Fiona's life. Leave it in my hands.
Oof.
And the Lord Commander and his wife sit up a little bit straighter. If you petition for the life of another, someone else may petition for yours. You understand this? And he bobs a nod. Should the questioning be satisfactory, your petition will be granted. Please answer their questions to the best of your abilities.
I should also like another trial with her before you do whatever that entails.
If I may, not that Fiona is innocent, but she too is being manipulated by Mogul in the same way that both of you were. It is really Mogul to blame for the death of your loved one. And it is Mogul that we must stop. And that is why we need your compliance, and that is why we need your information.
Then what other information do you need?
You're like, please, plot person, help.
For fuck's sake, can we get something?
Who supplied you with the gems?
Fiona did. We had suppliers. No, we had suppliers coming through a few times. We have another coming in just in a few weeks. And it would never be more than a handful. We were hoping that supply would not quite meet demand, and thus would raise the prices of them. It's a very common tactic, but we have another supply that is supposed to be coming in a few weeks' time. We're not sure exactly where from, but we do have the meeting place.
What is the meeting place?
About 6 miles to the east of town.
No taking.
Were they asked about having seen Mogul before? Did you ask them about that?
Yeah, they got commands, but I don't think
Yeah, they never actually
met.
seen him.
Yeah.
Okay, because I did want to ask that, because I thought that was asked.
We can ask again.
Hmm?
We can ask again.
They said they had minimal contact with them.
Did he ever communicate directly with you, not through Fiona?
Only 2 or 3 times.
In what way?
A voice in the dark, a voice from the stones, and then once we met a tiefling man.
Fucking Scamos. I flirted with that shit.
Wait, Scamos.
A
Oh,
tiefling man?
Yes.
What did he look like?
Purple, little smirk, and rather tall.
I don't remember.
Handsome
this man.
fellow.
Do you remember his name?
Fucking hell.
He didn't give us one.
Kid guy.
He simply said that he was the word of Mogul.
He said he was the word of Mogul.
Yes.
Did he have
That's
any
ostentatious.
stones with him?
No, it was just to tell us where we could find some that had already been carved.
Mm.
Well, we could hunt that bastard down.
Do you know how the stones are made?
No, unfortunately. We were told that they were found in the mines.
Have you ever encountered any in their natural states, or are they just naturally allow you to...
The ones that come to us are ready to be installed in necklaces or earrings or bracelets or even sold as a whole piece. We're not able to cut or destroy them.
Hold the fire. It is important to know that now that you've given us this information and now that it is known that you are aware of your manipulation, your lives could be in danger.
That's understood.
I do not know to what reach he has. I do not believe him a god. I do not believe him omnipotent. But I do not know to what extent he is powerful.
Thank you for your words of concern. My husband and I will keep an eye out.
Did you spread the stones knowing that they were dangerous?
They seemed troublesome, but not outrightly dangerous. They didn't seem to cause harm.
But you knew the things your wife was saying to you through the
Possible
stone.
that other people don't have as much trauma as
I
we
know,
do.
I was just thinking
So they're
that.
not affected as strongly by it, and we're
Dude,
just
remember
really
that one
fucked
time
up.
in 3rd grade when you said, "Hate you, Jimmy," and that's all you can think about? And they're like, well, we've been scarred, so...
Sorry, say your question again.
Oh, but you knew the things you were hearing from your wife, and yet you still sent out the stones.
Have you ever lost someone that you cared about?
In a way.
And if you were given something that would allow you to hear their voice, even just once or twice, and all it would cause you is to sleep a bit poorly, wouldn't you take that?
I've heard something similar to you. I've lost. And yet, I am capable of understanding that as harmful as these stones are, I cannot put myself and I cannot put their voices above the lives of the people around me.
Then you are a stronger woman than we are.
You guys are women?
All
You're
women.
strong women.
Serious moment, guys. Serious moment. Reel it in.
Together. We've kept it together for a really long time.
Sabine doesn't do well with hard situations.
Clearly.
Sabine immediately falls back on humor. She's like, no, too much feeling.
She's a Eugene.
Accurate.
Is there anybody else that you know of, by name, that is following Mogul in White Flag?
Not by name, no. We knew Fiona and ourselves. We thought perhaps there might be one or two in the Merchants Guild who were involved, and who knows, maybe one of the innkeepers. They're close enough to the trade routes.
Did you have suspicions of anyone with any alchemical skill?
No.
Oh, well, that's good.
How did Fiona kill her?
Best I understand, she purchased something shady off of a Tardothian poison merchant. I'm looking into finding her credentials today, actually. Maybe she's a cousin.
If you find her,
If that's, I say that because if that's the case, I could at least dissect the poison and find out some information from that.
can you recreate what killed her?
Oof.
Oh, shit.
It depends.
It would be a fitting end.
You're not wrong. But I would have to find that merchant first, and I'd have to get a sample of the exact poison she used anyways. So we might as well just buy it from her.
I will give whatever the cost is.
I'll let you know what I find.
At a 20% markup.
Honestly.
And the Lord and Lady Commander kind of exchange a look and is Are there any other questions that you need to ask them?
Y'all.
I'm sorry, I'm not like
Only one that
intentionally
knows
looking
what's
at
going
you.
on.
I'm just
Yeah.
looking away from the DM to think for a minute because I'm like,
No, I just like okay. OOC for a second. I don't know what the next direction is.
Yeah.
I think we've proven to the Lord Commander that these guys are definitely in on it, and that there was definitely a reason for us bringing them in.
Yeah.
It's not pointless, and they've obviously admitted, so that's taken care of. But yeah, as far as like where to go next,
Yeah. I think he'll find us. Like, I don't think we have to try and find Mogul. I think he'll find us, but I don't necessarily want to do this on his terms.
Mm-mm.
yeah, exactly.
So I just maybe.
We don't know where the stones are coming from. We know they're being mined.
Yeah.
We're not sure like how they're being empowered, if they're naturally powered.
Okay, this is stupid, but if the whole point and like power of him is like the word being out there and like trading and commerce, does that mean if you just give things away and give money away for free that's like thwarting his plans? Because that would be a high quality diss. You want to purchase this from me? Well, here, have it for free. And he's like, no, how did you know that was my weakness?
Hello, it's us, the socialists.
But yeah, in terms of questions, I think.
I don't know if there's any other information they have.
We know we need
Yeah.
to destroy the stones. We know that we're called to defeat him ultimately. We know we can destroy the stones.
Mm.
But as of right now, we don't have like the next step for
Yeah.
where we're
Right.
going.
We don't know where the stones are
I'm-
coming from.
I'm going to ask them if anything like anything sinister is happening, like knowingly sinister is happening at the Mint or the Mercenaries Guild. Like if anyone is knowingly worshipping, or like if there's like a weird cultist like activity happening where they're like worshipping or have like an altar somewhere in secret.
No, not that we're aware of.
Do you know people are unintentionally worshipping him and powering him? Do you know what exactly it is that provides him with power?
Do any of you have... And he, like, reaches into his pocket and, like, rifles through some of his money and, like, counts something out. Do any of you have one of these? And he holds up what looks like an ordinary silver piece.
Yeah.
And he flips it around, and it has the symbol of the Merchants Guild on it.
Yeah, we have those.
These were started some time ago. A brilliant move by the Merchants Guild to encourage the trading of a Tathseth's currency. From what we understand, this is Mogul's mark.
Ooh.
And you
For Mogul.
purchase or sell or exchange this sort of currency in particular, and it is like a song to his ears.
We have to get rid of all our money.
No, we don't have all of those. We only have a couple here and there.
We have to get rid of some of our money.
I'm gonna pick one out of my pocket and sacred flame it in my hand and see what happens to it.
It melts like silver, like so hot silver is now melting over your
Ah,
hand,
ow.
but also that black smoke goes up.
Ooh, okay.
This guy's magically doing something.
So
to
there's
his
probably a
scrap.
blue gem inside of it then. Or some kind of essence.
So there's
Ow,
definitely
ow,
some
ow. And
hinky
then she's
shit
like,
going on.
oh. I had to know.
What?
I couldn't stop.
What did you just do?
I was curious. Let that be a lesson to you all. Be curious sometimes.
And he like slowly puts the coin back in his pocket.
There's a good chance that merchant. Do you know how many of those there are circulating currently?
Definitely not. They've been doing that for years.
Well, now we know we gotta bust into the mint.
Ooh, doggy, it's a heist. You didn't hear that.
Out of character?
We have amnesty. Amnesty.
It wasn't an accent.
I don't have an accent. Now she's just like furiously like trying to flap her hand with like the melting silver off somehow. Ow. Okay. Well, something tells me we have to get rid of these. Now it's like just stuck on her palm, and I'm horribly burned now.
And Tiela looks over and, heavens, are you all right?
Yes.
I think the problem is much bigger than we anticipated.
Did they
How do,
go?
you, how do you get rid of a currency that could cause an economical drop?
Well, if you destroy the magic, they can still keep the silver.
Exactly.
True.
That's why I've been saying
We need a
don't know what's
recall.
empowering
You ever
the
been to
rocks.
Publix and they say you can't eat the romaine? Now is the time, but on these merchant coins.
I don't know how we're going to... It's easy enough to ask the mint to stamp something else on the metal. We don't even need to tell them why. We just make it a formal decree.
Is that an
What if
international
it's-
currency?
Unfortunately, yes.
What if
As
it's,
far as I know, it's just silver and gold and the like, and they simply stamp a merchant symbol on it.
what if it's not just the stamp? What if there's something inside of it?
We might have to remint the entire.
Well, that would mean the mint would be in on it because they'd be printing funny coins.
Funny.
I met. Oh no, Skamos was in the.
He was at the moneylender?
Yeah.
Look through your notes.
I have really many notes at this point.
I would
It's
say
hard
my
to find
little
specific
boy.
You should
stuff.
make an index.
She's got it color coded.
His color coded. I just have to find his name. Guy who talks to me is Skamos. Says he does a lot of the work with money lending. Purple Tiefling. Says his cousin Fiona runs the Lightmen. That was bullshit. That's all I have written down about that dude. 2 lines.
Lightmend. It's an anagram for evil town.
That was the money lender, yeah. So maybe we look at the money lender.
We need to go straight to the mint.
Okay.
Can we cut one of those
I
coins
think
in half?
we're done with this. Are we done with this here?
I don't have anything else yet.
Don't leave town!
Well, I don't think they should be let go.
And the Lord Commander stands. Your petition is granted. Fiona Dorkthorn's life is in your hands, Wilcom.
Oh boy.
I would ask that you
Out of-
return with the betrayers to your room and remain there until further notice. And Wilcom just offers a nod. And, as you say, sir. And then he takes Porgos' hand and they lace fingers and they head out with the betrayer.
You should probably see a therapist now.
We all should.
Just saying. Alright.
Ye olde therapy.
When we get a chance, I'd like us to group so in character Safine can relay all this information.
OOC. Is there any reason we haven't told the Lord Commander that Sacred Flame gets rid of the gems?
No, we did.
He was there.
He was there when I destroyed all the
Okay,
gems.
so
in
he
the room.
knows.
Yeah.
Alright, good.
Cool. So I'm just gonna listen, I know we've had a lot to go over, but we still don't know anything about Orsic, who is the initial creator of the symbol. And we also, we also should look into who the previous Tardothian merchants have been, so I can get a handle on who's peddling that kind of poison, because the ministry in Tardoth would not be keen on such a strong one getting loose, especially by someone who is not certified using it for civilian life. That's not
Do we
appropriate.
know that it was Tardothian?
Oh, that's what Fiona says, and she's been truthful thus far. Oh, me and remember last night I threw some flowers at her. Very
we tried good
convincing.
cop, bad cop, it didn't help.
She said she was gonna be bad cop, but she really
I tried,
wasn't.
I did the job, and then she switched it up and decided to throw the flowers. How was I supposed to be the bad cop after that?
You didn't throw them.
It was
the
like bad
first
cop and
time.
worst cop.
Can we focus?
Okay, wrapping it up. So, I think we should go back through, find out who Orsic is, since Elazar doesn't know much more. We should go to the Mint, find out who Orsic is. We should also find out, which they would also have a log of the mercenaries that were there. which would be the Tardothian mercenary, and we should also find out who this Fargrim character is who is selling the initial batch of sparkling Segbite. And I'm not too keen on that necromancer that Merked remember, and
We definitely killed him.
He's definitely.
oh, right, but I want to know what guild he came from and where those two schmucks that he was with, where they are. May the gods rest their souls.
She took care of them.
They're very dead.
Right, but where and what are they?
But what
who?
happened?
Yes, I want the details. Who, what, why, when, where, how.
In D&D, some NPCs die horribly. These are their stories. Doom doom.
Alright, I gotta use the restroom.
Complaint.
But that's what she wanted to say, so that's the information.
I do not know. It almost feels to me like Mogul simply adopted the symbol. I do not think he has been with it since the origin. He is recent, yes? We
Sounds
get,
like that.
yeah, we get the feeling that he has not been around since the Battle of Betrayal. So I do not know if there is any point in looking after Orsic. Because he was the originator. He was hundreds of years ago.
Unless hear me out here. Mogul, he attempts to become. We should give him another name.
His name has power.
All names have power.
What if his name is never mind.
Lugum.
What's the name of the guy who made the coin?
Orsic.
What
He
if?
should be long dead by now, right?
He should be long dead by now, but like, if he was a human, yes, humans die.
If he
Drop
wasn't
of a hat.
human, he could still be alive.
He
Of
was
course.
dwarf.
How long did dwarves?
Dwarves live a long time.
Dwarves live a very long
Not
time.
200 years.
And
And he
I
was an
think they
adult at the time.
Alright, but
dwarves live hundreds of years.
if Mogul. What did she just do?
She said yes.
It's a whole lot.
350.
If Mogul, who if Lugum, we better change that now, otherwise I'm gonna stick with it.
Mogul?
We need to give him another name. We should stop saying his name. Mucus. If Mucus. That's disgusting. If Mucus
I mean, we could use his name in vain, and that's the
already
same.
has the power of a demigod, as we've proven it. He at least, if nothing else, is an incredibly accomplished sorcerer who has great powers in magic if he's able to communicate in such a way, or has harnessed a great power of an ancient god. If he already possesses this magic, if he already possesses this power, what is to say he is not the same man who has prolonged his life unnaturally? It's not out of the realm of possibility. Either he adopted the symbol, or he originated the symbol. It wouldn't hurt to find more information about him. I love the bookshop. We should go back.
I mean, that's what I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, what if it's him? What if he just realized, hey, look, crap, I
What if
could
we've
be a
got
god?
what if we've got like a Tom Riddle Voldemort situation going on?
What's his name? I keep forgetting the
Orsic?
Orsic.
We're sick, dog.
I mean, we know he's a dwarf.
Yeah.
He was definitely a dwarf.
It's very likely he could still be
Sure
alive.
could be alive still.
It's very likely.
I'm thinking this
And-
is like a Red Lyrium situation.
If he created the stone, or the Merchant's Guild emblem, he might have eventually found an inn. He's a dwarf, he knows about the mines and the stones. Or he could.
That could be also the connection to the dwarven clans, the one that owns the mines.
Exactly.
Or else would they work with someone unless they trusted him on some level? It might make sense. I don't know.
I think at this point we need to know. Well, ultimately, we know we must face Mogul, and we must take him out on a day, you know. But we must also know what is powering the stones, and more importantly, what is powering the coin, because that is all over